Next up, I want to share a really powerful pro tip with you to showcase one of Power BI's more advanced conditional formatting options. And our objective here will be to conditionally format these callout values based on whether or not we've hit the target. So if we select one of these visuals, one of the things you may have noticed in the format pane is that for certain options, you may see these FX icons. And when you see that, it means that you have the opportunity to apply more dynamic conditional formatting rules as opposed to hard coding or fixing different formatting settings. And that's exactly what we're going to do here with our callout value color. Right now, it's just our default gray, but what I'd like to do is turn this callout value red in cases where the metric has fallen short of the target. So in this case, with our all-purpose bike stand, I would expect all three of these numbers to be red. Otherwise, if we've hit the target, we'll keep it this nice dark gray. So that's going to be a very similar approach to how we handled our KPI cards in the exec dashboard view. Now, before we dive right into formatting, there's one thing we need to do, which is create some new measures that calculate the difference between these monthly metrics against their targets. So let's open up our data pane here. I'm going to select the measure table and insert a new measure. And this first one that I want to create here, let's call it something like order target gap. And we're going to define that as simple as just the total orders minus our order target. Now, by defining this order target gap measure, we can use it to create some conditional formatting logic. So if this gap is positive, that's a good thing because it means our total orders exceeded the target. If this measure is negative, it means we fell below the target. And that's going to drive our formatting logic. So this one looks good. I'm going to copy that DAX, press enter to lock in that measure. And we're going to rinse and repeat for revenue and profit. So let's add a new measure here. Call this one the revenue target gap. And that's going to be total revenue minus our revenue target. Looks good. Press enter. Last but not least, let's create our profit target gap, which is total profit minus profit target. Excellent. Press enter, and we've got our three new measures that will help us create these advanced conditional formatting rules. Next up, let's jump back into our formatting pane with our orders visual selected. I'm going to drill into callout value. And now again, instead of hard coding that gray, we're going to click the FX button. That's going to pull up our familiar conditional formatting box. But the difference is that now instead of simple gradients and icon sets and background colors, we're going to use rules. And those rules will be based on the new fields that we just created. So order target gap. And we want two rules here that basically say if the value of order target gap is negative, format red, otherwise format dark gray. So it's a little bit tricky to wrap your head around the syntax, but for cases where the value is at least the minimum value of this measure and less than 0, that means it's negative, then format with this middle red color. We'll add one more rule and say if it's greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to the max, that means we've beat our target and we can format with that same consistent dark gray. Press OK and check it out. Our 13 changed because for the all-purpose bike stand, we fell beneath our target. Let's go ahead and apply that same approach to revenue next. Conditional format, rules. This will be our revenue target gap, greater than and equal to the min, greater than or equal to the min, less than 0 is red, greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to the max will be gray. Boom, that one changed. Same thing with profit. Rules, profit target gap, red, greater than 0, less than or equal to max is going to be gray. Okay, there we go. So now moment of truth is that if we select a product that beat its target these red numbers, these callout values, should go back to our gray. So logo cap, boom, there you go. Classic vest in large, beat the targets. Classic vest in medium, fell short. And those conditional formats are working beautifully. So that's awesome. It's worth calling out that there are additional places where you can add conditional formatting, even in places like titles and subtitles. That can be a great way to customize dynamic colors or fonts or add icons, but that typically takes some pretty heavy-duty DAX that's outside the scope of the course. But for now, just know that these advanced conditional formatting options are available to you, and keep an eye out for cases where they can add value to reports or dashboards.